Noel Plum is trying to reinvigorate the atheist community, to return it to its previous vibrant nature. Well, I don't think it had that. I think that's just the novelty of it. You can't shine up and reintroduce novelty. But then I was thinking, well, what's the noble part of this mission where people go, we're doing good? They're trying to guide people out of their theism. But when you get out of your boat of theism, you're just in the ocean of ideas. You know, where do you go next? And I was thinking, well, I can chart this, and I think I'll make a keynote presentation to chart this process. Because some of the systems that I've offered are specifically for this. For example, you know, why do I have my theory of morality? Well, it's because we lack one. Without a theistic argument, we don't have a widely spread understanding of how to calculate what's ethical and what's not ethical. So I know that my system of morality and ethics is to explain that for myself. That is, I need a way to calculate that. Without that, you just have intuitionalism. I mean, an atheist right now, and you could see it in Thunderfoot, and whenever it comes to arguing with theists, you know, atheists don't have good answers for this question. It's not that there aren't good answers, it's just that they're not interested. But here's the main problem. Firstly, the battle isn't really theism and atheism. It's dogmatism versus reflectionism, skepticism, where you reflect on ideas, where there's more information, more study. And the only reason you don't keep studying one thing forever to infinite degree is because it is infinite. And you have priorities. There's other things you might need to improve. So we multitask and go back and forth over things, improving them. But, you know, there's a point at which, hey, we know how to build bridges good enough. We need to figure out how to make farms better or whatever. So ancient skepticism, it's really about reflecting. The word skepsis has to do with to reflect, as in ponder, to think things over. And that's its real point. It's a set of requirements, and there's a question of, can you build a moral system and not violate the skeptical ethics? And yeah, you can. So it's important to understand the skeptical ethics. So if you're a theist who's thinking, oh, maybe it's all bullshit, but, you know, I'm worried if I'll become a bad person, or, you know, I won't be as honorable. And this is an actual problem, because to get rid of a dogma, you basically have to go through the gate of nihilism. You can't really start putting new ideas in there with your doctrine and try to, if you do that, you will end up with a fossilized version of your doctrine. You understand, you will be taking doctrine out and putting them in with something else that'll be forced into that shape, and in the end you'll have the same philosophy with just a different language to describe it. And if that's an atheist language, then you get to claim to be an atheist, but you're still just as doctrinaire. You might have changed your doctrines, replaced one for one your doctrines, but that's really not satisfactory to me. That means you're going to have to reject all those doctrines, and you're going to feel a little bit loose in the world, like you have no doctrines. But the human mind does have opinions, and they do reform, and all the human intuitions are wrong, like that harming another person should somehow be considered immoral, you know, with the various exceptions of it being unavoidable, or they're the aggressor or whatever. But even then, there's this moral impact of this intuition, and we can use intuitions like that to double check our moralities. For moralities violate some head checks like that, then we go back to the drawing board. But it is possible to go through this nihilism knowing that you can reassess your values and morals. You're not going to literally lose things, but you will have to reclaim them somehow. So, why should you be nice to your mother? Is that a moral issue anymore? You're going to have to recapture that, and one way or another, you'll figure out, well, no, it's not a moral issue, but my mom was good to me, I want to be good to her. Yeah, it is a moral issue, but because of these other reasons and how I want to be treated when I'm a mother, and you have to figure out some way to reclaim those. Right? And the main problem, though, is that you're going to have these doctrinaire habits. It's much more easy to create an atheist dogma than it is to actually change into a non-dogmatic way of viewing yourself.